Are you a fan of AI? Are you aware of the advances that technology has made since just this year? Vice actually dropped a video not too long ago called Catching Files Using AI. I'm very interested to see what technology is able to do nowadays. And if you are just as interested, please drop a follow. Let me know if I should do more videos like this on AI or different types of technology or technological advances we've made within the past, I guess, even 5 years. Again, this video is from Vice. They dropped it today. It's called Catching Files Using AI. You can find it on their YouTube page. We also have some music playing. You can check that out right above me here. Go to that artist's page for if you like them, and it should be DMCA free, but I'll find out when I'm uploading this video. Either I'm gonna get flagged for this video or I'll get flagged for the music, so we'll find out. Either way, if you enjoy the content, drop a sub.
This is a further interview of Jeremy O'Ketch, who's been arrested on suspicion of rape. Where did those incidents take place? No comment.
Wow.
Is that you in those clips? No comment.
Someone who is going to abuse a child will often record the incident because they want to relive it or they want to be able to sell on the black market. The area of the...
And they're absolutely right. Listen, either the only reason somebody would do such a heinous crime like that and record it is one of two things. Either they want to publicize it, they want to blackmail the person, or they want to view it later for their own pleasure.
The perpetrator that is most frequently in view is the back of their hand.
Can I have a look at your hands at the moment? No comment. Can you put your hands out on the table for me?
I help the police to identify individuals from images.
There are an estimated 50 to 60,000 suspected paedophiles in the UK, requiring investigation on an entirely different scale.
Look at
We've
that.
helped
You
the police
can't-
to secure over 40 life
can't get
sentences
away with
for
that
abuse
type
against
of
children.
stuff. You can't look at this guy, man. Come on, sentenced to 6 years in prison. You deserve to be under the jail. And also, look at this. The techniques that they're using. This is the suspect image, offender image. This is from the video itself, right? So you can look at the hands and how similar they look. The nails, even it looks literally like the same hand.
There are an estimated 50 to 60,000 suspected paedophiles in the UK, requiring
Just
investigation
suspected.
on an entirely different scale.
We've helped the police to secure over 40 life sentences for abuse against children, but also about 500 years of prison sentencing. We think of DNA as being the absolute pinnacle of forensic science research. Let's not underestimate the human hand. I'm Sue Black. I'm a forensic anthropologist. Forensic anthropology is about the study of the human or what remains of the human for identification purposes. So whether that's working with the police in a body that is found unexpectedly, it might be homicide, it might be working in war crimes investigations as I did in Kosovo, or following the tsunami where we have a mass fatality event.
And shout out to her, salute to her. We need as many forensic scientists as we can. Like she said, this is the pinnacle of, I guess, where we wanted to come to. Using DNA as evidence, being able to use DNA as evidence.
Wherever a human needs to be identified and linked back to their name, then that's the work that we do. The human veins are variable. Look at the vein pattern on the back of your right hand and the vein pattern on the back of your left hand, and I guarantee they will be different. And we know it's different in identical twins. So that tells us that we can say to the police, we can match the pattern of veins in your suspect, and if they don't match, then we can say with 100% certainty, it's not the same person,
Right.
because your veins
Absolutely.
don't change. We had a case back in 2006, which was a young girl.
I actually never even thought about that. It's not even like you're using you're extracting DNA or using extracted DNA. This is something like you can use as a composite almost. It's almost like we're using a composite, but this is IRL.
Who alleged that her father came into her bedroom at night and he sexually abused her. And we had some images of a hand and a forearm come into a camera view because she left her camera running on her computer. And the police said to us, well, we've got this image, what can you do with it? We did the comparison and we could show that the vein pattern between dad and the offender matched perfectly.
Wow.
So we go into court and the judge says, well, I've never heard this kind of evidence before and I need to decide whether this is science or this is witchcraft. And he decided the first time in the UK he would allow the evidence to be heard. I gave my evidence, the jury went away, the jury came back, and they found Dad not guilty.
And look at that. You have to think about that. Is it science or is it witchcraft? Are you kidding me? It's point blank evidence.
The barrister said something to me that will stay with me for the rest of my life. She said, "You did nothing wrong. Your evidence was absolutely, perfectly understandable. They just didn't believe the girl. She didn't break down and cry." That set up for us a real determination to say we need to have the underpinning research.
Well,
we need to be able to say it's a 1 in a million chance, it's a 1 in 1,000 chance. Sometimes we only have one anatomical feature. Sometimes we will have multiple features. And the more features we have, the more confident we can be, both in terms of exclusion, but also in not being able to exclude the suspect and the offender from being the same individual.
She's talking about
Jeremy O'Ketch was alleged to have abused a...
She's talking about like if you have scars on your hand, scabs, distinguishing fingernails, stuff like that. The more stuff you have on your hands, on your arms, on your body, the easier it is to identify you as the suspect. And think of it, that stuff doesn't change. Stuff doesn't just move from one knuckle to the other, doesn't move from one finger to the other, whatever marks or birthmarks you have, you know? It's crazy. And to even fathom or have a judge fathom it be witchcraft is baffling.
a young girl and to take videos of it happening. We were asked to look at the videos. We were able to link up his vein patterns. We were able to link up his skin knuckle crease patterns across all of the fingers that we could see. But he also had a clinical condition. He had something that's called melanonychia. And melanonychia is something that is often found in dark coloured skin. And it's where the pigment cells are also found in the nail bed. And he had that.
And exactly what I was talking about. The more distinguishing features you have on your body, the easier it is for the police to identify you as a suspect. So you can think you got away with it all you want, not comment all you want, but the evidence is right there, and your case is slowly getting weaker.
That in one finger, he didn't have in any of the other fingers that allowed us to compare it between suspect and offender.
Can you put your hands out on the table for me?
Put those hands out, boy. This is not asking you for a comment. How one of Manchester's most sickening files was identified by his hands.
82% of the cases that we take on.
The Lancaster professor, whose work has put 30 serious of child A's behind bars,
result in a change of plea. Once the report is there, that evidence is now so strong.
File identified by Freckles.
Change of plea. Once the report is
file identified by Freckles jailed for 6
there,
years.
that evidence is now so strong that they will change their plea.
To catch a file, you only need to look at their hands. Absolutely right.
Something like 1 million images go onto the dark web every day in relation to child sexual abuse. Hands are the part of the perpetrator that are most frequently in those abusive images. That was the logical place to start. We just can't take on all of these cases. If we're working in the process of me physically doing a comparison and writing a report, that will take me a day, a week, a month, and sometimes even longer. We need computers to help us. We launched the app in February of 2020, and the response that we've had has just been amazing.
We need lots of images of people's hands so that we can train computers, and we need your help. Please go to the H Unique website to upload.
So, okay, I kind of feel like, you know, there's no, I don't know. I mean, it is sort of, I don't know who placed this out, whether it be the government or the PD, but this is, I don't know what they're doing with this data. Are they just keeping it? Are they storing it? Do we have to sign a waiver or a terms of service before uploading pictures of your hands to be kept in a government database? And like she said, the response has been just amazing. So more and more people are uploading their, you know, body features, which works great because it can take you out of you know, a situation as a possible suspect, but it could also be used by what, Facebook to further advance the metaverse? Like, who knows who these people are selling this data to, if they are, allegedly, right?
Photos of your hands.
To be able to train our computers, we need about 5,000 images. We have not found any 2 vein patterns that match. We've not found any 2 freckle patterns that match. We've not found any knuckle skin crease patterns that match. Once the computer is trained, the algorithms get handed on to the police. They can then start to run those algorithms through their database, and they have databases of millions of images. And what we're looking for is saying, can we find the image of the suspect? And if we can we link that case to other cases that might have happened somewhere else in the world? And that's really exciting because that allows us to make the world a much smaller place.
Yeah, exactly what I was saying. It's kind of like she's not being counterproductive, but it is. I don't think you should really say things like that because, like, you don't want to really make the world such a smaller place. When people start to feel confined, people start to go crazy. Case in point, we were locked in our houses for 2 years, and look what we've turned the world into so far.
So one of the questions that is most frequently asked of me is, how do you cope? But I'd be lying if I said that it doesn't impact. Of course it does. The most important thing is, it's not your job to investigate it. It's not your job to find somebody guilty. It's your job to look at these images, to find the evidence, to analyze the evidence, and then present it. And you need to stop and close the door at that point. I'm just a small part of a cog in a very, very big wheel.
You're doing some good work there. Doing some excellent work. Thank you, Vice, for that video, and shout out to her for doing the Lord's work out there. Well, what someone would consider the Lord's work. If you like this, subscribe. Let me know what you think in the comments. I'll see you next time.